I, like many of us, grew up in an alcoholic home, but I didn't actually know that that was the thing. Like, I didn't know that I thought everybody had a family that was as dysfunctional as mine was as a kid. And, I think I didn't recognize how much that affected me. I didn't come from a household that I had to worry if the lights were going to be turned off, or I had, financial security, but there was a lot of fear in the house for me, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anger, and and um, and and fear as a child. And so really where I gravitated was to sports.
Okay. Was that pushed by your parents at
No,
all? No.
no, sports was not something that was pushed by my parents. As a matter of fact, I started swimming as a little girl only because my brother did it, who was a couple of years older than I was. It wasn't something I was necessarily drawn to. And I did other sports as a kid, gymnastics and soccer, and I ran track and things like that. But I think as humans, we start to gravitate towards where we find success. And I happen to be pretty good at swimming. And so that's really where my focus started to narrow over the years.
Was that because there was structure in the sports, whereas unstructured life at home?
I think, of course, it was super reliable and dependable. I knew exactly where I had to be every day at a certain time. I was in the pool 2.5 hours in the morning before school. I was back in the pool 2.5 hours after school. My teammates became my family, but it was also being an individual sport. I always used to say nobody could see me cry underwater. It was really where I would work out my anger and my fear and my frustrations at what was happening in my home. And I would literally work myself so hard that I'd be so exhausted when I got home after practice that I could kind of shut out what was going on in the house. So it was like my safe place. It's where I felt accepted. It's where I felt safe. It's where I felt loved and cared about.
It was like a family that you should have had at home.
Yep.
You created that for yourself when you went to school.
Yep. And again, my parents, my father was a corporate executive, a successful corporate executive, and he was my hero my whole life. And he was always there for me, even when he was traveling. He was really my best friend. And it was my mom that struggled. So because of my dad's position as a corporate executive and traveling all the time, I was home often with my mom. And she was the one that really, really struggled with alcoholism.